Welcome back to the Krown Crypto channel. Today, I'm joined by a very highly esteemed trader, Mr. Crypto Ed NL from the Twitter sphere, also has a YouTube channel as well. Ed is someone who I think I was first introduced to your Twitter profile coming across it in either 2016 or 2017. It probably sounds about right. In the prior bull markets. And you were one of the accounts that was not only giving out accurate information, but was also coming at it from what I understood to sound like as an actual professional trader, someone who doesn't just put ideas out there, but, understands or obviously lives that whole phase where, look, some of these trades, they work out. Some of them don't. That's okay. That's what it is to be a trader. You run with your winners, you close off your losers, and that's just all that it has to be. And you really stood out as one of the few people that I kind of ran into at first when I was stepping into this sphere that I could immediately identify as, okay, this guy's legit. This guy's someone who I want to be following. And it's just by happenstance that in the past, 4 or 5 months, where we've kind of been able to get on with each other. I've been wanting Ed to come onto this channel for a long time now. We finally got it done. So I'm going to head it over to Ed now. I'll let you kind of introduce yourself. Please tell the story of sort of how you got into trading and how you sort of learned technical analysis and what that whole process was like. And of course, for anyone wondering, all of Ed's links will be in the description below. So definitely check him out.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for having me. I normally don't do these kind of streams, podcasts. I don't feel the need to. I don't feel very comfortable with it. But I wanted to make an exception for you, and I also
appreciate it.
I think what you said about me, I think it's totally the same goes for you. And a legit professional trader. I think you are one of the few crypto traders on YouTube who really has professional experience. From what I see on YouTube, I don't follow YouTube a lot, but from what I see, most guys who are now very big on YouTube, they got in crypto at some time, and they are great marketeers and
digital marketers. Absolutely.
Already.
Yeah.
And then I see an account like you, which is you have a proven history of trading, and then I see other accounts who are 4 or 5 times bigger, and I really don't get that. Yeah, absolutely. And I always say those kind of even on YouTube or Twitter, those people are more marketeers who tell the people what they want and not telling what they should hear. And
right,
just like me, I think you're also one of the guys. When you see the market is turning bearish or gonna dip, you are not making it better than it is, and you're not shining it up. And I think I do the same. And yeah, that's why I thought, well, when I have to do a podcast or then it's with you, and why
thank
not?
God.
Maybe it's time to do it. I'm already now in crypto since 2014, but I went to trade forex in 15, 16, more or less. And there was one back then. I was in a very small Telegram group. Twitter wasn't that big, and guys like Crypto Cobain had maybe 15,000 followers or something. And,
right. Yeah.
We were right coming off from IRC, the chat program, very very old-fashioned, and we were slowly switching to Telegram and Twitter. I was then in a very small Telegram channel with some real OGs, big names, and I left because I started trading forex, and I was sick of at that time already of all the scams going around, and nothing changed. They only got better and better, those scams. Absolutely dump, and I was so fed up with it. At that time, I thought, well. Maybe the market was even more wild back then, and in 2015 or something, I thought, well, why should I trade in an asset which I don't believe in? And then I mean the altcoins. I think
Right.
there were so crazy projects, Orange Coin, Dent Coin, or Red Coin.
Yeah, World Coin, all these pieces of shit from back in the day.
At that time, we did make our own altcoin. It was called Rekt Coin, REKT, and with a little Telegram group, and we warned people and saying, guys, you are just buying shit, and you are only buying it to get wrecked. And now you can buy really Rekt Coin. We even made it to CoinDesk with it. And,
that's poetic.
There were really people trusting that we would pump the hell out of it, and there were tons of people who we had a thread on the Bitcoin talk. I don't know.
Yeah, man, that was way back in the day.
Yeah, and people were for days asking for us when we would start a pump, but we did have a listing on an exchange, and one of the big guys didn't manage to turn his volume bot on or something, and we were not able to pump the shit out of it. At the end, we all lost about 0.5 to 1 Bitcoin. Which
wasn't such a big deal back then too.
No, it was a couple of $100, but we had so much fun. And it truly stated that people were just in the scene for. It doesn't matter what they buy; they just wanted to pump and then get the hell out of it. And even if it was the biggest shit coin or a red coin, it was eye-opening to see that so many people were warned to get wrecked and still buying it. And we said, well, you got wrecked. We too. The team also. Now you know why. And
right.
Around that time, I switched to Forex. I traded Forex for a year or two. I did have some private shit going on with another company I had before.
Okay.
Well, that's also the reason how I came back to crypto, or why I started our trading group. In early 2017, I was already fighting with the Dutch tax authorities for 5-6 years.
Jesus.
We went into court and to the highest court possible, and I did have a company where never one single euro cent was washed or was illegal.
Right.
Somehow they managed to find something, and they charged me extra for 5-6 years. And
Jesus Christ.
You can say nowadays that was. I'm looking at the Bitcoin price. It was more than 5 Bitcoin, and At that time in 2017, early 2017, I decided to give up. My mom died very sudden, and
Jesus.
At that time, the next week, I promised her that she shouldn't worry about me and get out of the shit. And the week after, I decided to give up that fight with the tax authorities, and I went to. There is in the Netherlands, you can go to an office, and then you can say, hey, look, guys, I'm broke. I do have a big debt, and you can go for 3 years in a certain condition that after those 3 years, you can get out, and then you are debt-free. I was ready to do that.
Okay.
Then the tax authorities again started to object that. And there was absolutely no way out for me, and I had to go to court to fight again with them to get in that rule of 3 years. And at that time, I thought, no, this is not going to work. And then some guys in that Telegram group said to me, why don't you do something with your experience and start something with that? And at that time I was ready to be poor for 3-4 years,
Jesus.
having no money at all, huh?
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
time. And I already paid back a part of it to tax authorities, what I had.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I was ready to undergo it, and accepted that I had to start my life again in 3-4 years. And then I had the idea of I was then starting to develop that idea of starting some sort of training school or academy or a training group. And I started a new crypto account in August 2017.
Right on. Yeah.
And I was at that time I had a job where I was traveling all over Europe to
Mhm.
exhibitions and being a project manager. And I still was working there, and I started new crypto accounts, and then I started posting updates on Twitter, on TradingView.
Mhm.
I think a couple of days, and I was number one in in TradingView.
Yeah,
Those
you absolutely blew up there. I
yeah,
mean, your account was huge at the time too.
yeah. I went from August till I think February 2018. I went from zero to 90,000 followers.
Yeah, I remember that because that was when I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was first getting into this, like a little bit more into the crypto Twitter scene at that point. I wasn't posting myself, but just watching it. And I remember you were one of the accounts that was consistently right, with the market. And so your account just at that time too, 90,000, 100,000 people on Twitter is like, that's a humongous account. Like that was just a different time frame. So it was no surprise that you absolutely blew up like that, because you're just I remember it's like every time I'd go to your profile, it's like, oh, that one hit, that one hit, that one. It's like, damn, what is this guy up to right here?
Yeah. Well, that was August 2017, and then within your mind that I had no money. At the 1st of this September, I wanted to start my training group,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, let's see if some people are interested to learn from me. And within 48 hours, I had 25 people paying me for a month training, 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
They paid me all 1,000 euros.
Wow.
So being poor, and then in 48 hours, you have 25,000 euros paid in Bitcoin. And Bitcoin was at that time maybe 2,000.
Yeah, a couple thousand.
So I trained those guys. Then I started a new group in September, the first of October. I did an English. The first group was Dutch. Then the second group was English. And
Mm-hmm.
again, within 48 hours, 25 people. And again,
Jesus.
all paying in Bitcoin. And that's
How did that make you feel? I mean, you basically went from nothing to like, okay, I got a living again immediately, almost.
Yeah, that was very, very intense.
Yeah.
And well, the years before were also very emotional. And if you have the feeling you are being hunted down by tax authorities,
Right.
I don't wish that anybody, because you live with that 24 hours a day.
Right.
For instance, when your when your doorbell rings, then you think, okay, they are coming to empty my house. And it wasn't that
Jesus
bad.
Christ.
Yeah. And I think it was a very important period in my life, which also formed me in my being now, like running a paid group, if you want to call it like that. Money is not the most important. It sounds weird in this world we are in, we are operating in, because we are all here to make money. But
Right.
in our group, it's well, for me as a group leader, if you want to call it, it's not the most important. And for me, it's that I do have a very nice side job next to my trading, because also, of course, my trading also blew up in that period in 2017, 2018. I remember in 2018 January, I did a times 10 on my portfolio. In April, I did a times 3 on my total portfolio. So that was crazy times. And, yeah. So for me, and that is also what I want from our team members, is that they do have a nice job, and they have fun in that job. It's also a reason why I do not want to grow too big. I mean, I moved to Spain to work less, and why would I?
So the balance has become more important to you, is what you're saying. Yeah.
And it's not only work nowadays, and I also want to enjoy life, work less. And why would I then run a group with thousands of people yelling every day for new trades and wait till Bitcoin moves a percent, and then they can post a new rocket emoji or something. We do have a pretty small group, and I do have 2 team members who are more or less belong to my core team, and we discussed a couple of times already, should we go big or not? So many people are asking for it, and because I think since January last year we are sold out, and only adding members when there is a rotation. It's very easy to double up, or even introduce or launch a new service, a cheaper service, and supply only trade setups. I'm sure I can get 100, 200, 300 people right away in the first week want to join. But I don't want it. I don't need it. And the work we do now is much more rewarding. We are, I think, one of the few groups who are really training traders. That is also what I said before about what that dark period in my life formed me.
Right.
A lot, and I think that is one of the most important reasons that I do have a lot more fun in training people. Than being the best trader with the highest call of the best calls and best trade calls. No, I'm actually happy when people follow our group for 3 months, and after 3 months they say, "Look, I learned a lot, and I'm leaving now. I want to try it on my own." I'm happy then. I'm satisfied because that is our target. To train people and
it's also because you know what that's like, where you want to develop a skill, you need that, you need some sort of an income, and then when someone else kind of gets that, and they kind of you help them through that process, that you know what that was like, how much that meant to them because you've kind of lived that yourself. I mean, I know that I certainly have, because I've been broke in the past too, and there's nothing fun about it. I can tell you that straight up. And anytime that you can just even impart something that helps someone along that path, it's like, okay, that feels like it was worth it. There was something good about that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also how did I want to say that? I don't remember. Well, what we do in our group is also you also already said it in the introduction. We tell them this is how trading is. It's not like what you see on Twitter or
right.
This is trading. You have your wins, you have your losses. Accept your losses, and I have no problem telling or stating on Twitter or wherever when I'm wrong on a call, and it's part of the deal. And I think,
and honestly, that speaks so much for itself too, because so many people will run away from quote unquote a bad call, which isn't really a bad call. It's just like, look, my strategy is this. Some of them are going to work, generally speaking, more of them are going to work out than they don't. But when they don't work out, like, that is a part of it. We can't put on this illusion of perfectness because it doesn't exist. I mean, weird things, random things, 10 Sigma events happen. So there's just no way to be perfect in this game. To be perfect, at least in the way that I look at things, is maybe being right 60 to 70% of the time. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty damn good right there.
I immediately sign up for that.
Right.
Our members to sign up for that. If it's not without a reason, every new member joining our group immediately gets a personal message, introduction to the group, but also
Okay, so you really get to know these people.
yeah, absolutely. We're not that big, so that's
right on.
But they also immediately receive a link to one of our most important webinars, training webinars, which is about risk management and how we do our trades. But
Okay.
for us, risk management is one of the most important things in the whole training. And another good example, how we train people, we give them a very wide view on crypto or what is possible or what is not possible. But we also train them or give them the opportunity to train different charting techniques or trading techniques. Like you are working a lot with EMAs and all kinds of indicators. For instance, I barely use indicators.
Right.
We have a team member who is working solely with Ichimoku.
Interesting. Okay.
And a bit of Elliott Wave, but because every individual is different.
Right.
You will have a much different trading style than I have. I know for myself that I'm an impatient person. Not only in trading, but the other team member who is trading with Ichimoku, and that is a woman, and I'm very proud having her in our group. She is very patient. She hasn't been trading for 3 months now, maybe even more. But I guarantee you, the moment the market starts trending again, she's outperforming everybody. Now acting as a big guy on Twitter. She outtrades them and walks around them in circles. Absolutely. But she was a early member in 2017 in October. We started with the current concept, and she was one of the first members. And didn't know anything about trading, and had a good job as a director, I think. And she immediately showed having talent, and after I think 6-7 months, she stopped working her day job and became a professional trader.
Jesus, that was quite quick.
Yeah, but absolutely very talented.
And
coming with crazy calls.
So she just kind of picked it up really. Do you have any idea why she was able to pick it up so fast? Like, was there some sort of qualities, or something about a personality that made her just kind of undertake those ideas quicker than, at least in my experience, most people? Was there something like about her that you kind of noticed there?
She says it's all about because of me, but
she's humble.
I don't think so. But of course, people have the one person is more talented than the other.
Right.
I do see many trading strategies like order flow or order book trading. Those, I don't even know the name. I know that I'm not capable of understanding it, so I'll skip that. But we do have other members who would be very good at it. So everybody has different talents, and she was very talented, I think, but also very disciplined. We learned her certain rules. She kept following them, and she's very strict in her trading. And when she misses out on a trade, she just waits till it comes back to her entry level or not. And
interesting, right? So it sounds like she just kind of doesn't have an ego surrounding it. She's just like, look, you've told me what to do. I'm gonna do that basically, and not veer too much off, thinking that I'm gonna outsmart the market, for example.
Egos are not allowed in our team.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, shit, man. The market will have a very quick way of humbling you, in my experience, the second that you start to think you know better than it. But that's very interesting. Just out of curiosity, how did you learn trading yourself? Were you self-taught? Did you have some sort of like a trading mentor? How did that whole process go?
I started trading back in, I think, around 2000.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've got a good 20 years.
Yeah, I think yeah, maybe even a bit more. At that time, there was no live stream of prices, and
Right.
there was a delay of 10 minutes. And
Yeah, computers were just starting to get involved then. I used to clerk for my father, who was a trader around that time in like the early 2000s. So actually, no, people were literally trading on the floor with pieces of paper. You know, you'd pass another guy like the piece of paper. That's how you traded. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's when I started to sniff around in trading and following it more. And I always had some stocks or some funds. And then actually in 2014, when I started in crypto, black coin at that time, that was when I started paying more attention to it, and
Gotcha.
starting to look more and more at technical analysis and starting trying to get a grip on it. And but it took a few years, and
Right.
yeah, that's also what I'm still learning every day. Everybody,
Yeah. It never ends.
No, that's also what we teach in the group. You won't get rich in 2 weeks, and it will take longer. Yeah,
Crazy.
It only happens on Twitter, and yeah. So 2014, 2015, when I went into Forex, then I really started doing more in TA, and that's also where I saw a group. I don't even remember the name, but there was a certain paid group. Who was also much more focusing on training, and they had a concept I copied, where people joined and paid once for entry, and then they can stay for the whole time. And that's how I started in 2017. Look, you can get it. You pay for a training for a month. I'm training you for a month, and then you can stay in our trading room the longer you want.
Right on. Okay.
But I did that only for 2-3 months, and when I saw that my idea was really exploding, and then I switched back to the monthly subscriptions. And
right. So you wanted to keep it more boutique, more personal, basically.
Yeah, and that's actually where in Forex I found that concept of really training people and having being satisfied when they leave after 3 or 6 months and go on their own.
Well, that's the idea. I mean, you don't want someone to be fucking dependent on you, obviously. I mean, that's like a weird thing that like a dictator wants, right? Like they want people to be dependent on them. You know, someone who's actually like, you know, out there hopefully for good. You know, they want like, you know, people have to kind of come into their own with it, which it sounds like that's exactly what you do. But just out of curiosity, how would you say, or did you notice any differences between trading Forex and trading crypto, for example, or Bitcoin?
Absolutely. But I also see difference in how trading Bitcoin has changed over the years.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, we could get into that.
It was really easy peasy trading Bitcoin.
Well, looking at the charts, it traded very technically back then, like extremely. Didn't really take too much.
No, it was breakout trade. You could buy the breakout and
no fake outs. Nice and simple.
Yeah. So, and I already said that in 2017, I think that trading crypto would become much more difficult with the introduction of institutionals, and
right.
It's absolutely what we are seeing of late. And the difference with Forex, I think Forex is much more like Bitcoin in the early days. I think
really?
Easier to trade, I think. It's not difficult. And I think in Forex or early Bitcoin, you could rely much more on indicators. I know you do work a lot with indicators. I barely use them, but I switched my charting strategy also from, let's say, classical wave patterns, much more into price action, support resistance zones, and supply and demand zones. That's much more what I'm looking at nowadays, and because the whole way Bitcoin is being manipulated or being played, how the price action is being played, I don't rely anymore on many indicators, and I used to get some confluence, but for instance, the only ones I'm maybe using is RSI MACD, just to get some idea about bearish divergence. But
right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, yeah, well, that is the thing. I mean, all indicators are derived from price action, price, volume, or time, or some combination of those. So you should theoretically be able to look at price and, you could kind of see it. But just to your point, that's something that I've been learning a lot, especially in the past half year to a year, price action trading, which is a lot more simplistic, but it works better especially an environment like this where things are mostly ranging, I found. And so I found a lot of value in that as well, which is kind of funny that you've also come to the same conclusion. It goes back to your point as well. You want to be well-rounded. So you want to have strategies for when things are ranging. You want to have strategies for when things are trending, of course, as well. So that's, what I like to use my usual tools for. But when it comes to the day-to-day, especially for this past week, I mean, just been price action, buy 38.5, sell 40. That's all that it's been. It's been rather boring, but that's kind of where I really want my trading to be. I want it to be boring. I mean, that's a good thing. When it gets more exciting, usually bad things are around the corner, in my experience.
Yeah, I also heard it from other experienced traders. They really had a hard time coming from 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
2019, 2020, and I'm sure many of them they blew up their account, absolutely. And nowadays it's much, in my opinion, it's much more having an understanding of where's the liquidity and how's it.
Right.
In the early days, it was much more, okay, we are accumulating for a couple of months and then we pump it in.
Right.
Everybody just bought some and waited for the pump. And nowadays it's much more wild. But you could also say, well, if Forex is that I think Forex trading is easier. So why would I go back to Forex? No, I like the crypto scene much more. And I do believe strongly in the future of crypto. Well, not
so you are a believer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the future is bright. And but I also like the idea what is done with many altcoins or ideas they're working on. I think that's much more fascinating than looking at gold doing 3% in 5 years or something.
Yeah, with inflation at all-time high, so.
Yeah, but that's why I like crypto much more. It's also fun to be around with young kids.
Right on. So if you don't mind me asking, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but do you hold like a basket of altcoins alongside your, I'm guessing Bitcoin as well, or?
Bitcoin, Ether, but nothing else.
Okay, that's very interesting, man. I'm the exact same way, and it's funny because you've been in this space a lot longer than myself, and I'm sure that you've noticed the same things that I have, where it's like, it took me some time to come to grips that maybe Ethereum is going to be legit as well. But generally speaking, whenever I hear about a new altcoin, I'm like, probably worthless, probably a scam, but might move here. I mean, that's just kind of how we're conditioned, because you've seen more than me, I'm sure, like all of these new shit coins come into the market, and then a couple years later, they don't die, but they're just irrelevant, right? I mean, how many things from 2017 that were just the hot things back? Remember OMG, Omisi Go? That was a fucking hot one back then. Or Neo, the new Chinese Ethereum. You don't hear about them anymore. They're nowhere,
It's true. I did realize that in the big bear market 2018-19, early 2018, when Bitcoin was came back down from 20K, I think to 20K, and then back up to 60.
Right.
And then at the 7th or 8th of January, I remember I said in my group, guys, this is going down. We are going to 8,000, maybe even 6,000. And they all went, are you drunk or what? I said, no, I don't have good feeling. Well, and we did go to 6K and even lower. And I did sell most of my altcoins, but also many of them, or a couple of them, too late. Let's say after they already did 30-40% down, but they went down 90%. So yeah. But at that time, I was also like so many others, believing in the future of crypto. That coin has so much good fundamentals. And
the fundamentals.
But you just look at the chart and you see that all are doing 90% down. Okay, there was maybe one or two coins like Link and Lent at that time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They were only exploding. But at that period, I realized that it doesn't matter how the fundamentals are. If the market is shit,
market first,
and they go like a madman down, and 95% down, and I always give the example in our group when I do my live streams why we use stop losses, also on altcoins. It can always happen that we go back in such a bear market, and you can better sell for, let's say, 10% loss, and then wait till because that is your insurance premium. I always say you're paying for getting out, because it can also happen that such an altcoin goes down and down and down, and that is what happened a lot in 2018. People were expecting bottom, and then 2 weeks later, they expected the next bottom, and it only went down. And they are having their capital back in such a shit coin for 6-7 months, and you can't do anything. And I can still trade during that period.
Right.
I'm not in that shit coin, and they only have to they can only sit and watch and hope that they get in. Back in. And
that's no way to make a living.
No, but
just praying.
You just look at how's the site called? We have CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap.
Yep.
You can go to the historical top 100 altcoins.
Oh, that is a fun little journey to do. Count how many you actually recognize.
17, 18, 19, and what was let's say top 20 to 50. If you look at, let's say traders who joined this year, last year, when they look at the CoinMarketCap 2017 or 18, and then look at what is in top 20 to top 50, they don't recognize those names. Maybe 2 or 3, maybe. The rest is all gone. And that's also why I prefer to get out of a trade, because we do more the short-lived trades. But I'm not going to hold out at all. No, absolutely not. I mean, maybe that's also a bit of a trauma of the bear market, but it also means that I will maybe not have those explosive growths in my account anymore. Because nowadays I would prefer to wait for a confirmation when the pump is strong, and then I can lose already. To
me, that just says that you're comfortable with your skill trading. That you'd rather be reliant on that than just, hey, here's the next rocket ship to the fucking moon, which is less skill and more kind of just right place, right time. Maybe a little bit of skill, definitely a little bit of skill too, but just not the same thing. Curious to hear your thoughts, Ed, on the.
Sorry, can I add something to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it also goes for you, maybe. I'm not going to say you're an old fox or something, but I do have a different, risk profile than most of the people who are let's say, on Twitter or in crypto, because majority of or a big part of those traders, they have the age of my children. But their life is just starting, and I'm already looking more in the coming years that I have some certain goals I want to achieve, and I'm also out. But don't that means that I cannot take those big risks with what you can take when you are 22.
Yeah.
Your life is just, well, they feel like they are already around a very long time and they are very experienced, but their life is at the beginning, and especially their professional career. And when they blow up their account, well, they can still start doing the job they learned for, they studied for. And for me, it's totally different. And that also goes for a lot of the members in our group. We have a very major group. We do have a very big part of our group. I never talk to them. And maybe once a year when they want to extend their subscription. But most of the people in our group, they do have family. They have a job. Many of them, they have a company. And they just need let us do the job. Every morning we do updates and maybe post some trade setups. But every morning or during the day, we do our market updates. They check that morning and they set some alerts, and then they go to continue their own life. And I think that's also a big difference. But that also is a kind of a mirror of who I am, and I attract a different kind of people than the majority on Twitter is. And
well, of course, I mean, you're being realistic about your damn trading, whereas most people post as if like, you know, every other trade's just a home run. And that's just, in my experience, that's just not realistic. And you know, I can definitely speak to your point as well, in the sense that when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s, I was very, you know, risk taking, right? Like compared to how I am now. And it took me, you know, literally going broke, like $0.00 in the bank account before I became, you know, kind of how I am more now, where I'm very, very conservative. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be in any position where I could, you know, be riding or dying on a few trades. That's no way to live, you know? So I think it's that, you know, that experience of kind of losing everything gives you perspective, especially, you know, when we're young men, we kind of have like bravado, you know, we don't think that that's going to happen to us, or we think that we know better. And it's not until it actually does where we get a little bit of a spanking and we start to say, hey, okay, you know, I need to be more, you know, I need to be more diligent about this. And to me, that just makes me feel a lot more safe. You know, I'm happy to take whether it be like a 1% loss or a 2% loss, if it means that I live to stay another day. You know, that's going to happen. It's going to happen, you know, here and there, or sometimes more often than not, you know, on a bad week. But you just have to remind yourself that over time, you know, that's the game. You're playing a game of statistics and probabilities. You're not playing a game of, you know, rocket ship emojis, looking to make it on the next trade. Like I always see that on Twitter, especially, where people are like, I'm going to make it all on this one. You know, I'm all in on this. All in is not a part of my vocabulary ever. There's no such thing as all in. Absolutely fucking not. You know, just out of curiosity, yeah, go ahead.
You can see sometimes you see, I see those accounts on Twitter also, which suddenly blow up in a certain period when they are right from the beginning for a certain trend. Either it's down or up.
Right. Yeah. The one note people.
They are approached or people are cheering to them as if they are great traders. I know a couple of guys. I knew them already for a couple of years, and they were very special traders, but they were right at the beginning of a trend.
Right.
And they rode it as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
People were celebrating or cheering that guy because he was such a marvelous trader. No, he was not. He was right at the beginning of the trend. Mm-hmm. And at the end, he blew up his account because he took too much.
Didn't switch.
And I see so many of those accounts, and most of those accounts, they also post the profit and loss, those screenshots from Binance.
Oh, right. Yeah. Just showing the percentage too, like not the actual size, right?
No, but you also have some of those guys who also post the actual amount of money they are making.
Mm-hmm.
They are really celebrated on Twitter, but I also know that a couple of those accounts, they totally blew it when Bitcoin took a day off, and for instance in early December, but also in May last year when Bitcoin went from, what was it, 50 to back to 29 or something. many blew their account back then because they were full in bull mode. Yeah, you have to post every day your profit and loss on Twitter, right? So yeah, no, that's absolutely not how I work, and you don't, you neither. And if I hope for those guys that they, if they are lucky, they are get out in time and they are celebrated on Twitter. Yeah, fine, but it's very risky, very risky. It's more like it's gambling, and that's not what we want to teach our members. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can only get lucky for so long when you do things like that.
Ed, the market will humble you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ed, I wanted to ask your thoughts on the current market. Like, what do you think right now? Just in general, kind of where we're at. I know that you're more short term like me, and you don't actually really care that things are bullish or bearish. But I just out of curiosity, just for conversation's sake, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I never do long-term outlooks.
Right.
In our group, in our market updates, I do share a long-term view, but that doesn't go for now. Let's say Bitcoin above 80, 90K. But that's might be already for end of the year at earliest. But I never share it in public because I don't believe in it.
Right.
And you can get killed for it very easily. But no, I through the years I have seen that the market is so wild that it makes absolutely no sense to make long-term outlooks longer than 6 months or something. And yeah, when I look at the current market, we're absolutely in a tricky stage. I do have scenarios already for months since the drop in December. I'm looking for 26, 25K, which is still absolutely possible. But we are now in a very delicate situation where our friend in Russia needs to push one button and the wrong button, and we are going to But like yesterday, you saw that there was one tweet saying there were positive talks with Ukraine, and we shot up $1,500. Okay, but I said, look, this is a proof that the market will react very strong on every part which is coming from that area. So I still think that we are definitely in a reaccumulation zone, in my opinion, which might drop a bit more, but I can also see it going up from here again if that Russian affair is turning positive, then I think we will shoot up. But it's difficult to say when or what. And I'm by no means I'm not a political or military expert, so I stay away from that. I just follow the
unlike some accounts.
No, and so I just follow it from a distance and check the charts. I definitely see a risk of going back to 26.
I'm kind of.
I do have different strategy or charting techniques. One of them is Elliott wave. Elliott wave is pretty complex, but also very objective. And I always say, when you ask 10 Elliott wave chartists for the chart, you will get at least 7 different labelings on the chart.
Right. And just before you go on with that, one of the things when I first came into this market, I came from a professional background. I used to trade on the floor, and there I was always kind of told that Elliott wave was bullshit, and I kind of looked at it as bullshit because I was going on Twitter and I'd see people like, do you remember this guy Philocone who was doing Elliott wave? Yeah, okay, and there's like a few other guys as well, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't look right, and so I always kind of wrote it off. And then it wasn't until I came across your account and really started to follow you, it's like, okay, this can't be bullshit because he's getting it right too often for this not to be bullshit. So when you say that, if you ask, a bunch of Elliott wave chartists, what are they going to come up with? They all going to come up with different charts. It makes sense. It makes more sense to me now, and I've definitely been a lot more open-minded about it in recent times. I mean, it's like with anything, right? There's just bad analysis, and then there's also good analysis that sometimes doesn't work out, and there's a clear line there. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Well, I always laugh about what I see on social media from the newer traders, and often it's very popular to
right.
Let's say Elliott wave or trend lines. When one account says Elliott wave is shit, all his sub puppets start calling it also shit.
Right.
But I always say, why would it be shit when it's already around for 70, 80 years and
right.
working? Same goes for RSI, MACD, EMAs. Who the F are you, having 10 months of trading experience, saying that EMAs don't work? They work for a lot of people and worked already for decades for those people.
Yeah. It's always funny when someone says that. I'm like, okay, well, they might not work, but it's been working for me for years now. So I think it's okay. But
why I like to follow your views, because they're totally different from how I look at them. But you already said it also last week already. It's very funny to see that very often we come to the same. And
that's the thing.
I always say that there is no holy grail in trading. It's not order book trading or classic patterns, classical wave patterns, or trend lines, support resistance, anything. There is so much what is working, but you need to find the tools you are feeling comfortable with. And that's what I said before when I said I'm an impatient person, but other person is very patient. They can work with a following system and have very good results. But other people feel more comfortable with the support resistance, and that's why we have those different concepts in our group. But what I said, there is no holy grail, and
right. There's no one way to do things. Otherwise, we'd all just do that.
Yeah, and for instance, there are some big accounts. They are trading based on the daily open or the monthly open. I don't believe in it. So I do see they seem to have good results, but I cannot check it. But I don't need to check it. But I don't believe in that concept, so I'm not using it. And same goes for the daily open or the daily close. Yeah, why is it important? It's it from your history. The daily close was important because traders went home. They went to the family and they went eating, and that's when many trades were closed. In crypto, we don't have a daily close. The market is really but some traders do well on it, and so be it. Good for them. I don't believe in it. I'm not saying that it is a bad strategy. Absolutely not. If you make money on it, who am I to say that it is a stupid strategy? Do it.
Yeah. I got a few more questions for you. I realize that we're almost running on an hour now, but this has been good. This has been really, really nice. Okay, so all right. So if anyone's listening to this and they're not familiar with Ed on Twitter, one of the ways that Ed also caught my attention is that you were very direct with calling out some of the more questionable accounts. Let's say questionable, perhaps on Twitter. If you were to give some just general advice or general tips on, who to kind of avoid on these social media venues like YouTube, like Twitter, like these places, what's kind of some red flags that you see? Because I've seen you pick apart some people brutally, and it was pretty funny, but also quite enlightening. I'm just curious if you had any tips there.
Yeah, I must say I don't do that a lot anymore. That was much more in the past. But I did get some serious hate for it because,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it really cost me a lot of. It did cause a lot of negative
Yeah.
area or image around me, because
Right.
those sneaky bastards who are here for scamming others.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what way, but they are always the friendly guys. They
Right.
are always surrounded with other good guys. They manage to get in important trading rooms, chat rooms. They make friends,
Mm-hmm.
and then they start screwing around. And they are
Yeah.
all, I do see many accounts who are absolutely dog shit, but they are supported by some friends of them.
Yeah.
Um, and when I called some of them out, then I was the bad guy. And
Yeah.
then after a certain time, I thought, well, why should I do it? Why? I even got there was one troll account who started to threaten me or my family
Jesus.
to dox my family. And
Jesus Christ.
at that time, I thought, well, why should I do it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to warn people for the bad guys. I do get
Yeah.
a lot directly to me. People are calling me a salty old grumble guy.
Yeah.
But the members in my group, they know that I'm not that grumpy old guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surrounding myself with lots of fun and humor. And but on Twitter, I did get the image of always being grumpy and salty. But that was because I saw so many bad things happening, and there were so many naive people falling for it. And
Mm-hmm.
then I thought, well, why would I be the guy calling out the bad actors? And so I don't do it a lot anymore. And I do just like all the others most of the times, and that is turning my head and go with the flow. And I think that's a pity, but and sometimes I can't resist. Then I go in full with my stretched leg, but. I even know that's back in 2019 or something. We now have that account Zach XBT.
Right. Yes.
He's doing a great job. People already asked if it was my account, but it's not, absolutely not. I don't have time for that. In 2019, there was a similar account, Chillaxed. And,
Oh yeah. Whoa. Yeah, I recognize that name. Holy shit.
and when that account already went dead or missing in action, after a couple of months, then I started hearing from other people that many people in the crypto scene thought it was me running that account. I never did, but I did have some good examples for it. But I never ran such an account. But yeah, people thought that it was me, and because of that, also some bigger accounts who were called out by that guy Chillax started spreading fun about me, and yeah, that's why I thought, why would I bother about being the bad guy here when I'm trying to call out bad guys? There was one girl who is still active, a Dutch girl who contacted me, and she also said, I am unfollowing you and your Chillax account because you are calling out all my friends, and it's only negativity on my feed. I said, well, first of all, I am not Chillax, not at all, but realize what you are saying. Your friends are being called out, and you say it's
Yeah.
only negativity. That makes no sense because your
Right.
friends are doing something what's not okay. So yeah, I'm not doing that a lot anymore, and but when I have to warn people, I would say some red flags. Yeah, typically the Mr. Nice Guy type of, and there are a lot of them, and especially those accounts who tell you what you want to hear and not telling you what you should hear. There are so many purely marketeers on the road who do not trade at all, but or they are just growing an account for getting a lot of engagement, so they build a following, and then they can have good rates for promotional tweets.
Yeah, that's a new game and a just a weird game. But I've noticed that, and when you start to apply everything through the filter of how much engagement can I get, you start to realize it. So, for example, what I noticed, and I think you actually pointed this out, but yeah, I believe you did point this out in one of your tweets, and that's how I picked it up. But basically, you pointed out that people who are posting like, "Hey, give me your chart requests," that's not like they don't really care that you're requesting whatever shitcoin that you happen to be holding. They're just using that to get more engagement from you so that they can spread their message farther. And that's the whole game right there. And once I started to turn on to that, then I started to understand, okay, these accounts are just best to ignore. And I don't block people on Twitter because I just don't want them to know that I block them or know about them. I just mute them. Yeah, mute them, exactly. And so I just continue to grow that list because there's just so much of that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to get your message out, but you should be able to do that by giving out some sort of value rather than just essentially kind of short-circuiting people's brains into giving you more engagement. And it's just, I don't know, it just seems kind of slimy. I think.
Yeah, it's something what is an eye opener for newer people on Twitter, but there is so much fake stuff going on, and absolutely some accounts. Well, actually, I know about there was already in 2018-19, there was a Telegram group being run by one of the biggest accounts at that time.
Okay.
Also a marketing account. That guy never posted a trade or something, but he was running a Telegram group with a lot of his friends, which he knew from other groups, and they were discussing with each other their advertising rates. Yeah, really. But that guy is super popular. And since then, I never saw any of those influencers posting, "Hey guys, this is a promotional tweet." No, it's always
right. And I'm sure you, because I know that I get this like somewhat, pretty frequently, at least on a weekly basis, and I'm sure that you do as well. But you'll get like these emails or messages on Twitter, whatever it might be, of like, I want you to shill my project basically for, it's usually not like that much. These are like, at least for myself, man, maybe you get more, but usually like between about $1,000 and $5,000 to shill something. I've never done it, but I can't imagine that someone like these accounts, they will essentially sell like their reputation. I mean, theoretically, for not that much. I mean, you can't really live off of a few $1,000, and sooner or later you're going to be found out anyways. But these projects, they just come out of nowhere, and it's like a never-ending stream of these emails in like broken English to show this project I've never heard of.
Yeah, or like yesterday, I tweeted about it. Some nice-looking girl sending me also a request, and then I answered, "Look, Vicky, your name is Vincent or Vladislav or whatever." But I have no objections against paid advertising, but be honest about it.
Yeah, you could just say it. And honestly, that wouldn't come off terribly. I mean, at least people would know, what it is, but there's no reason not to, I would figure. And then also, I believe, at least I'm pretty sure in the United States, I don't know if this applies anywhere else, but I'm pretty sure that it's illegal not to disclose that it is an advertisement. I do believe. So it's just like, why?
I do live in Spain now, and there is also
oh, really? Okay.
You even have to you even have to inform the authorities 2 weeks in advance. Well,
oh wow, okay. Jesus.
That doesn't work. Then the project
Yeah. Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
And done.
Yeah, they've already exit scanned by then. It's gone.
So that doesn't work. But well, what I really don't like is if you have an account like we have, we build following, people trust you in your analysis, and then you start also promoting shitcoins without disclosing it. But in my opinion, you built your following based on people trusting you and for your knowledge of the market, and then you are shitting on them with shit projects. But the stupid thing is, there are great YouTubers also. They are being defended even by their followers because they did, let's say, 20 calls a year. Yeah? And some of those calls did do ×3 or ×4. But most of but they are dead now. Meanwhile, but there are people just defending this. They make money on it, and I really don't get it, especially when it's undisclosed. And no, I don't do that. If I do, then I would only do, let's say, well, I already said that I don't really hold altcoins for longer term, but I would do some promotion. It would be disclosed, and then more like a partnership. And none of those short-term lived coins. I mean, I've seen so many accounts really making big money on all those IDOs last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Were making or building a following in the years before, being the honest good guy, and they always said, well, IDO X is coming out tomorrow. I invested in it, and that made it for them legit. That they didn't. They invested, but they invested for a price 10 times lower than you can buy.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. What people don't understand about these ICOs, IDOs, whatever the hell they're called now. They're not even getting like a private sale. They're getting the pre-private sale. So it goes pre-private sale, private sale, public sale. And then by that time, the price is already marked up 100x. And these people, they print money the second that they buy in that private sale. I mean, it's just, it's a really dirty game once you understand it, because the people who are buying basically after that, there's really no major. It's going to be very difficult to make money. I mean, because those people, they're just there to sell on you. I mean, they're already up, 10, 100x. So why not? It's all profit to them at that point. So good luck making it on a lot of those ones, man. I mean, we see that so often, but I'm just curious. I know we should probably end here soon because we've been here for a while, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. And I know I got to go actually somewhat soon as well, but in your opinion, were the scams worse in 2014, 2015, 2017 than now? Or, do you think things are better now or trending in a better direction, basically?
I think they are more professional now.
More professional. So it's harder to figure out. They're not all called wrecked coin anymore.
No. I always remember 2014 or 15, there was a guy from Romania or something.
Yeah.
He also created a coin, and back then the scam was doing the pre-mine and they Ninja launch and then dump on the people who want to buy it on some shady exchange. I always remember one guy that Ninja launched also a coin, and obviously it was a scam, but he managed to pump it for 2 days or something. And then the pictures were on Bitcoin Talk. He posted some pictures, he being in a very expensive hotel, 5-star hotel somewhere.
Oh God.
Table, champagne, hookers, and and he said, "Cheerio, guys, thanks for your money."
Oh my God. Shameless. Fucking shameless.
more or less the same is happening nowadays, but it's much
Yeah.
more professional. And you
Right.
have all that shit with those VCs and
Yeah.
it is. It's actually funny because I do see some venture capitalists.
Mhm.
Those were guys who were trading altcoins 2 years ago, and they
Oh,
are
now they moved into that space.
guy and
Right.
no, they are just buying shit projects for
Jesus
a very
Christ.
low price and dumping it on their followers.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's nowadays it's more professional. But I think it's very, how can I say, it is like that annoying fly on the wall and circling around you. Yes, it is giving a lot of people a bad experience with our fantastic scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or with crypto, we can do so many nice things in this scene. But if you come in, I do have so many members in our group who are saying, "Oh yeah, 2 years ago when I just joined, I didn't notice this, I didn't realize that." They could have gone also, and
Yeah.
after blowing up their account because after they ruined their account with buying some shitty projects from some YouTubers or a shilling on Twitter. And I mean, it is, we're talking about money. People have earned
Yeah.
money with hard work. And I, for instance, um, when my trade setups in the group don't work out, I have a bad day, or
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Because you're participating in that. I feel the same way as well. If my analysis is poor, it's like, shit. It makes you feel bad, you don't want to put out bad information out there, obviously.
It's also it's very how can I say, doing a job like I do. We are open 7 days a week. Members are chatting now also in our group. The market is open 24/7.
Right.
I do feel the responsibility 24/7. And
Yeah.
for instance, now I do have a weekend that I have. We only have. We do a rotation. Two team members are running the weekend. I'm now off, and but still, I keep watching the market and still feeling responsible. And what I mean to say is that I feel responsible a bit for the money my members,
Yeah.
our members are bringing in, or they are trading with. I cannot imagine selling them some shitty project and knowing that it will absolutely never succeed.
Yeah.
And yeah, I missed out on a lot of profit, obviously, but I can still look.
Can still sleep at night.
I can look them in the eyes, and
Yeah.
I have nothing. I did nothing wrong. Absolutely not. So then maybe a bit less profit, but I'm not complaining. And the sun is shining. So
no, peace of mind is what it's all about, man. Got to be able to sleep at night. I mean, I imagine like a lot of those guys, the thing is like if you do intentionally scam someone, at some point there's going to be a crazy person and they're going to come in, probably, I don't know, wreck your, maybe kill, I don't know, maybe kill you, something like that, man. I mean, it only takes one crazy person. So to me, it's like you wouldn't be able to sleep at night. And then also you have that as a risk as well, with the people who actually, I guess, go in with it. And it just seems like a lose-lose every way, every way that you kind of look at it. But I guess it still goes on anyways. And I guess that maybe that's just human nature. And that's just always going to be a part of this game because, you see it with like penny stocks as well and all that shit. So it's just, I guess that's what we deal with.
I think the weird thing is actually that most of those guys who dump on their followers, for instance, they don't feel like that. They
really
no. I think that they believe in their own truth. Like that example when they write a tweet and say, "I also invested in it," and I have seen guys absolutely defending the biggest shit projects because I invested in it. in their belief, they are running also a risk, but there is no risk because they bought it way cheaper. And I think that many of guys who, let's say, a typical scam coin, I'm going to shill it, and it is launched, and then I'm saying it goes to the moon. And then in the next 3 days, it goes up, let's say 80%, yeah, or maybe it does it times 5. And then you dump, and other people also, the early investor starts selling, and then it goes down, and it goes to zero, and never comes back. I think those kind of guys who do this, they defend themselves by saying to others, look, it went up 80%.
It went up.
Why didn't you take profit?
Mm.
I always tell you to take profit. And
it's a nice little fail safe.
No, but I really think they feel good about it themselves. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. That's you've given me a lot to think about, Ed. God damn.
You know what actually is the problem? That Twitter is going so fast.
Yeah.
Look at that guy, Zach, who has been calling out biggest names.
Yeah.
They are still
they're still there. Yeah, and honestly, if anything, and it's kind of crazy to say, but if anything, it might actually be helping them, because there is this whole theory where it's like, you know, the more times that people just get their name said, the more, you know, famous, notorious, whatever might have you, they get. And the more and more followers that they have, it makes it easier to get more followers as well. And, you know, those people, I don't know, you know, who knows what they're up to, but they'll just go along with it, I guess, as well. And so, you know, that's what I was also thinking about. It's like, is Zach, like, he's doing a service, but is it having the intended consequence? Because these people, they've only gotten bigger. Like, all of the ones that he's called out, they've only gotten bigger. You know, if you actually look at it, which is kind of sad, honestly. It kind of makes you a little bit unhappy.
Look at the guys who he's calling out. They have 500,000 followers.
Yeah.
They have almost 1 million. There is still a very big market for them to marketeer their brand. Because look, you do have an account on Twitter. I do have an account, but we share content, and also, of course, we do a bit of content marketing and to bring attention to my group. Of course, I'm not denying it. But those guys, they don't have an account; they have a brand, and that's the difference. But if you look at them also on YouTube and how much they are defended by others, maybe Twitter is only a very small piece in this whole cake, and Twitter is also very forgiving. The next day there is the next drama.
Moves fast, like a news cycle.
And people are. I mean, when I don't look at Twitter for a day, and I'm not scrolling back what happened yesterday, then it takes an hour, and so it's weird to see that many of those accounts are being called out, and then you see thousands of likes of people who don't like it that he did dump on his followers, and then 3 days later he does a new YouTube stream, or he does a new call, and he's celebrated again. And, maybe it's part of this branch. I don't know.
Man, Ed, do you think that's a good place to leave it off?
I think, yeah.
All right, we got to have you back on another time as well, man. Again, Ed, all of Ed's socials are going to be in the link in the description below. Definitely check out him on Twitter. I know that you also, every once in a while, will do a YouTube video, every once in a blue moon.
I'm not doing it a lot, no.
Right on.
But once in a while, yeah.
Okay, awesome, man. But yeah, man, I'd love to have you on again sometime. You know, when the market makes it relevant. And with that said, thanks for joining in. Massive thank you for joining in on the channel as well, Mr. Ed. And for everyone watching, see you hopefully soon.
Thank you for having me. And what you said, let's do it another time. But then maybe with some charting. It would be.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Thanks. Bye-bye.